All right, beautiful people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. No matter what time it is, where you at, just know this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. As always, God is good and He is good all the time. All right, we doing a little video, but before I go, I just want to let you know I got my kombucha with me. I got my fruits. I might have to take a little break to go take my dogs out to use the bathroom because they just fed. It's like 8:30 in the morning over here. And I got me some pasta, leftover pasta that I'm eating. Got to keep my weight up, you know what I'm saying? Because I be doing all that the gym work and got to put my nutrients back. But this video is a long time coming, okay? First, I want to put it out there. I have a video coming out soon about how not just basketball community, but the basketball community, amongst other things, have been gentrified, right? A lot of these things like streetball was developed from black culture. The same thing with street gear, right? So people going out of here trying to save up Nikes, Jordans, and do all these little collector, you know, we made that jump popping because at the end of the day, the niggas going out of their way to buy up these shoes and make them worth thousands of dollars, where niggas wearing Skechers and Asics and Osiris's, you know, when we were younger. You know what I'm saying? But like everything else, everything gets whitewashed, gets diluted, and it becomes gentrified. Our communities out here that we live in aren't the only ones that's gentrified. The basketball community is as well, but there's other aspects. But the main focus is the basketball community. So I just want to let y'all know, there's a little disclaimer. Be on the lookout for that because I go real in depth about, the gentrification of motherfucking black culture, especially as it, revolves around street ball. Now, this video here is more, it's me clapping back at some niggas that want to talk sideways, okay? Because I know social media has put people into this headspace where they feel like they can talk to niggas any old kind of way. Hold on. Niggas feel like they can talk to any old kind of way, right? And what gets me is, and this ain't no new phenomenon. I've been dealing with this junk for all my life, where you'll have dudes like straight up scrotum carrying, testicle carrying, penis carrying, or supposedly, DNA biologically cisgender males, right? I got these niggas that'll come for me, and not just me, but females in general, but they tiptoe when it comes to motherfucking checking niggas, other dudes. But they'll quickly want to, engage in an argument or some type of back and forth dialogue with a female. And that is a big red flag to me. You talk about sus niggas, man. A nigga that'll sit here and entertain a female like he a motherfucking female, you're beyond sus. You're a down low, okay? You're a nigga that you literally only use women for sex. It got to do with your toxic masculinity. You know what I'm saying? You got that whole macho motherfucking mentality, and women ain't good for squat except for motherfucking catering to you like some damn slave. Them niggas are motherfucking down low because at the end of the day, they spend more time with their homies than they do their actual woman. They have more fun with their homies than they do with their actual lady. Motherfucking down low homos, okay? And I feel like I keep coming in contact with some down low homos. Now, I understand. The truth hurts, right? Nobody likes to be told about themselves. My wife tells me all the time, because every time one of these motherfucking YouTube motherfucking celebrities call themselves blocking me or talking some reckless junk to me, I always show it to my wife or I tell her about it. And it's funny because she always says, well, babe, nobody likes to be told about themselves. And it's so true because that's why I go through what I go through. So let me specify some things. This main focus in this video here will be Chris White, Greg Helt, the nigga that want to call himself 45, but he does not own a firearm at all, and he lives in Texas. I'm convinced the nigga he's a felon. You know what I'm saying? Or he's a dweeb. Like, I just think that's so lame for niggas to be sitting here with all this gun paraphernalia and want to make all these references to guns. But it's like, nigga, you ain't never shot no gun. You don't own no gun. You don't even know how to use a gun. You know what I'm saying? You can't even tell me one rule to freaking, you know, the weapon safety rule. You don't know nothing about guns, but then you want to nickname yourself 45. And then it's like, dude, your shot only good when you not defended. But anyways, so this video is about Chris White, Greg Helt, and a motherfreaking penis cum guzzling motherfreaking media guy, Logo Lock from 773. I think it's a child. And when I say child, I mean a minor. You know what I'm saying? This nigga under 18. You know, 18 and under. This nigga's a kid. Somebody's kid, okay? He still got Similac and teeth on his motherfreaking breath. This nigga gets on my nerves because anybody who follows Logo Lock, you know that this nigga motherfreaking jock ride the Hoolies, especially Chris White, but the Hoolies, till there's no more motherfreaking cum in their body. You know what I'm saying? And what pisses me off is because, like, you can't say anything about those dudes, you know, that opposes them without they want to motherfreaking act like, oh, let's get the, you know, the pitchforks and lynch this nigga. One, what pisses me off about them in general is that Chris White would have got a following. It just would have been hella slower if he maintained who he truly is. But Chris White ain't no retard, okay? When you look at Chris White's media presence prior to him coming up somewhere on YouTube in the basketball community, this nigga was, you know, an aspiring rapper, but at the same time, he looked literally like how Justin Timberlake used to look when he tried to act black. Eminem, when he tried to dress black. You know what I'm saying? They use the colloquialisms of black folks. They try to talk with our vernacular, you know, use our vocabulary. They even try to jock our swag. I mean, it's so bad. This nigga be claiming stuff in our culture that he's never been a part of. For example, he has talked about, oh, in my community, or, you know, where I'm from, you know, this happened, this, that, and the third happened. That junk don't rock with white folks. It don't, not even the poor ones, okay? There's this issue. I don't know what the freak it is, but it's because white people, poor white people, they don't fit in with wealthy white people, so they can't hang out with the Brockingtons, you know what I'm saying? They're not motherfreaking like social club worthy. So what they do, well, I don't fit in with the white people, so let me go try to fit in with the black folks. And in order to try to fit in with the black folks, because there's this nigga in my hometown that dressed like that. Several white people. I almost slipped up and said the nigga name, but we gonna call him PS. He know who he is. Nigga wear braids and everything, says nigga, because he hangs out with some dirty little black kids that he grew up with. And I call them dirty because everybody knows them kids that when you went to the city school district, the only kids that used to hang out with the dirty little white kids was the dirty little black kids that none of the other black kids wanted to hang out with. And so that's where these dirty little white kids get their like, oh, I got black card validation and all this other junk. No, you just got validated by that one nigga that rocks with you, okay? That's it. You take that motherfreaking wigger mess anywhere else, you're getting motherfreaking slayed, especially by your own kind white people. Hell, you don't even gotta get around no motherfreaking sedity white folks, no middle class and wealthy white. You could go get around some straight up rednecks and they will drag you. I got cousins that do that garbage. We call them white trash. And that's a term, it's very, very prejudiced, you know, towards poor white people, but it literally, Google it. White trash is a term that was created by black people that were doing better than poor white people. And that is a term that they call poor white people because of the way that they, you know, they use poor white people as the slave catcher. So if slaves were to attempt to run away or post-slavery, when they wanted to get the motherfreaking sharecroppers in line, they use poor white people, because that's their divide and conquer tactic, division, make the poor white people feel like they're a step above the poor black people, even though some of these black people doing a little better in life than these white people, but so the white people don't flock together with the black people, be like, oh, we all are oppressed by the rich white folk. To keep that division, what they do, they make them feel like they're a little bit better. So then that's why you got all these, what they call white trash, that'll talk all this crazy sideways junk, to black people. And then that's where the term came from, white trash, is because it's like, well, what's wrong with you? I know why I can't, achieve the things that I want to achieve in life, or as quickly, you know what I'm saying? My skin color holds me back, but what's your excuse, white dude? And so that white trash word was like a clap at him, like, you inadequate white man. I mean, you white, and nigga, you doing worse than me. And so these are the ones that find themselves in the spaces, especially when it comes to the city, because you got poor white people that live in the suburbs, that lives in rural places, that live in remote spots, and they stay true to their motherfucking redneck tendencies. Some of them are very white trash like, right? And then you have those who are, they're stuck in the city because they're too poor to go anywhere. They can't move because they're too poor. They're the welfare having white folks. And it's actually quite a lot of them, because you got to take into consideration, the United States currently has about 370 million people living in it. Of that, 60% of the US population is white. Now, worldwide, over 90% of the world's population is in poverty. Now, when you look at the United States, it's about the same. Over 90% of the US population is in poverty. So what does that mean? If majority of the US population is white, 60% of them are white, majority of the US population is poor. What does that tell you? Majority of the US population is poor motherfucking white folk. There's more poor white folks than there are any other race. You can add up all the racial minorities that are poor, and they still won't come close to the amount of white people that are poor. So the amount of white people that is on welfare, you know what I'm saying, government assistance, they outnumber black people because it makes sense. The data reflects the population numbers. And so when you look at the city, you got these pockets of white people that disappear. People don't look at them because all of them look the same. Rochester ain't much different from New York City. Rochester ain't much different from motherfucking Dayton, Ohio. Rochester ain't much different from Chicago. Rochester ain't much different from Detroit, where you have the city and the inner city. These places are about 50-50. It's about 50% black and it's about 50% white. But they look at it like that because when you look at the census is accumulate in the suburbs and the surrounding towns and cities in there too. Because you got to remember that in the actual city, yeah, there's a good amount of white people, but there's predominantly more racial minorities. So on the East Coast, preferably, there's more black folks in a city location, or it's about the same to white people. It's about 50-50. The same thing when you look at Los Angeles County. The West Coast is predominantly Latino. Ain't that many black people that migrated over there. Black people, when slavery ended, black people migrated from South Carolina predominantly up north. You had sprinkles that moved, Midwest and the West Coast, but majority of them, for the most part, stayed on the East Coast. Just went north, right? So on the West Coast, you got predominantly Latinos, or depending on where you at, is predominantly Latinos, or is predominantly Native, or is predominantly Asian. But at the end of the day, they run neck and neck with white folk. But then you got these pockets of the city, because in the city where you got extreme poverty and you have motherfucking black or Latinos, you have poor white people. But they disappear because people focus on the racial minorities in there. And so that's how you end up with these Justin Timberlakes, these Robin Thicks, you know what I'm saying? These John Cenas, these culture appropriators that want to sit here and, I'm a hood person, I'm a dress like street black people, or what I think street black people dress like. I'm a act like what I think black people are. I'm gonna talk like how I think black people talk. And that's how you get these raggedy niggas. That's how you get niggas like Greg. That's how you get niggas like Tommy from his group. That's how you get niggas like Chris. And the crazy thing about it is that people overlook the fact that these niggas put on these personas. They appropriate black culture to profit off it, because Chris noticed that when he looked like a Backstreet Boy type nigga, he wasn't getting no clout, no views, no nothing. Nobody was listening to music, because at the end of the day, don't nobody want a nigga that looked like JT when he was a part of NSYNC rapping. You throw some baggy pants on that nigga, you put some slang in his language, you know what I'm saying? Get him urban, aka black, urban, get him a black hairstyle. And then he rapped, oh, we'll take him, because that's how they took Eminem. We'll take you. You know what I'm saying? You can't look like your regular Joe. You can't look like your regular Billy. You know what I'm saying? So we'll take you. These niggas profit off it. It won't be long before, I mean, I'm going to show you in these videos. Tommy is starting to change his hair, and he's becoming focused on his hair. Oh, look at my hair. This nigga over here, he's starting to shift. The same thing with Greg. You feel me? This nigga over here using colloquialism and vernaculars that's used by black folks. I just saw they mukbang by Kenny Chow. Kenny Chow said for all of them to go around and say where they're from. When it came to motherfucking Greg, this nigga said, you know, I'm from Dallas, Houston, Austin, all that in Texas. Nigga, your hometown is not all three. Now, those are the three major cities in Texas, and those are the main cities in Texas that have a very heavy black and Latino population. But my dude, you ain't from all those places. He don't want to say where he really from, just like Chris won't say where he's really from, Schenectady, New York. That's where Chris is from. They don't want to say where they really from because they know they'll come out looking so white. That's why Chris be like, oh, I'm from New York City. Let me tell you something, you little bum, okay? You're not from New York City when you sat there talking about that you joined some stupid little program, and then you try to make it seem like it was for bad kids. It wasn't for bad kids. It was just for niggas who school didn't seem like a legit option. It was almost like Job Corps, the little program that they put him in. School didn't seem like an option, and it was like, well, you know, we don't want you to be a total, complete failure, so you may not acquire an education, but let's see if we can get you some vocational training and get you a job. So they put him in this Job Corps-like program, you know, post 16. So they moved him from Schenectady, New York, and he ended up in Brooklyn, New York, which he spent the remainder of his years, you know, somewhat in New York City. But we see that when we found out about this thing, he lives in Florida. So it's like, how long have you lived in New York City? For all we know, you could have lived in New York City for 2 years and then moved to Florida. Now I'm from Brooklyn. You're from Schenectady, New York, which is borderline Albany, New York, which is white man central. The population of motherfucking black people in Schenectady is almost non-existent, okay? So that's why he could put on this little persona and he want to say I'm from Brooklyn, because you niggas that eat that junk up, because y'all niggas that just take stuff at face value, don't research anything, you don't pay attention. You know, most of y'all just be watching the junk for entertainment. It'll slide with you. It'll rock with you because it's dumb as a motherfreaker. But anyways, I want to get into this. Now that I done got that all out the way, I want to get into how raggedy and dumb these niggas look when they sit here and argue with me over stuff that is retarded. So the whole point of this is, a while ago, motherfreaking, and it wasn't even a while ago. So Logo tried to make it seem like, actually, let me show you this video. But Logo tried to make it seem like I was a fan of motherfreaking Chris White and Greg until they blocked me. You dumb A. In order to get blocked, I had to have done something that they did not like. I wasn't even on Chris's, like, I started following him, and the amount of time between when I first started following him and when he blocked me wasn't even a full 2 weeks, because he considered me a troll, because I used to call him out all the time for how raggedy he was, because when I found out about him, one, I didn't like how he put out that whole Nick thing. And it's not even the fact that he did Nick. I ain't take no sides because I don't give a thing about Nick. I believe Nick did do what Chris said. However, I believe Chris was a part of that. I feel like Chris only broke away from Nick because he wasn't having his way. He is that temper tantrum type of nigga. We see it all the time. We just saw just a day or two ago, he was all on Freaka's live crying and complaining because Freaka gonna have motherfucking Chris Staples on his team when they play March 12. And he kept crying and complaining about they beef, like Freaka was gonna be like, okay, dude, I respect y'all got beef. I'm not gonna let him play. Freaka was like, F-U-C-K-U, nigga. I'm putting him on my team regardless. That's just gonna bring even more views because y'all got this beef going. He's that type of person that if he can't have his way, then that nigga is like a wrecking ball. He comes through and destroy everything. He'll destroy your relationship with him, everything. He'll destroy his following, his career, everything. Because at the end of the day, the nigga is unstable. He's mentally unstable. And so he blocked me because I used to tell him all the time, like, dude, you sit here and you drag Nick, but you was up under Nick all that time and you just now want to say something. It's like when MK left Showtime. Like, you think they ain't got beef? Them niggas got beef, and it's because of how he left them. He left them all abruptly. He played that one little game, then came here like he was just gonna get a little feel around with Kenny and just straight abandoned their little group. I don't even know what K-Showtime group is called, but he abandoned them. Chris did the same thing. He went out with a bang. He was like, let me start, saving up my stuff. Because at the end of the day, I really believe he was right along with that junk. Because Nick trusted him. And one thing y'all got to know, in order to get in the enemy's camp like that, they have to trust you. So that means that you had to put up some type of persona. The same, we see this nigga, he's amazing with switching up characters. With his accents and everything, his looks, everything. So this nigga had to have that persona where he was playing friendly with Nick, going along, doing the same junk with Nick. And he got pissy because he couldn't have his way with Nick. He probably couldn't get paid a little bit more. Or Nick was over here blocking, his little videos or whatever. And then that was the end of it. He was like, you know what? I'm going to start my little developing a paper trail or whatever, and I'm gonna expose this nigga, but make it seem like I ain't had nothing to do with none of that. Nigga raggedy. Then he come out later. I think it was like shortly after that, because that's when I started following him when that whole beef came out. Because that's when I really found out about him. Like, I seen him every now and then. He looked like he used to do his own like little braids. Y'all remember when he used to put the rubber bands on his hair and then it'd be blonde, and I don't know if it was twisted or braided, and then had the rubber bands on it. Because he was, you grab my dick. When he was with Nick, y'all remember how he looked? A hot motherfucking mess. He ain't look like how he look now. That's for sure. That's for sure. Nigga went back to New York City and was like, oh, I almost forgot how y'all black folks look. This is how y'all look. All right, let me put on this persona. But anyways, so shortly after that, I started seeing all in the comments and on his lives and everything, people were just saying like, hey, Chris, I pay for my merch. What's going on? And he's all like, oh, my merchandise site got hacked, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that don't sound right. Then this nigga wearing all this, this jewelry. He's showboating and everything. He always bragging about him driving in foreign cars. But then his people over here talking about they haven't received their merch, neither a refund. So then I called him out on it. He blocked me on my main page, that is by my main Instagram, that is under my name, Tiara Grayson 22. Then, so I started watching his lives through my other Instagram page, the antithetical antagonist. So then I started watching his stuff from the antithetical antagonist Instagram. And then that's when I see like the same content is still being talked about 2-3 months later, where in the chat, the people are like, Chris, where my merchandise at? I still haven't got a refund, blah, 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 blah. And he's all like, oh, I'm gonna give you all your money back. My stuff got hacked, send me information. I'm gonna refund your money. So I'm like, bro, okay, at this point, I know you lying. So now I'm commenting on, my page, my other page. I'm like, dude, you're a liar, straight up lying. Because I'm like, for several months, your supporters weren't able to get their merchandise. Like, your stuff been hacked. You still ain't get this resolved. You ain't refund nothing. Nigga, you stealing their money. So then he started blocking me everywhere. The only way I could see him is on YouTube, and I think one of my other business pages, and F&G Harvest. And so that's when shortly after he finally developed his team, and he comes up with this Greg dude. Now, Greg and Tommy, I think they're booty cheeks. Like, their character are boring, basketball-wise boring, and everything. But I just watch them because I'm just that type of person. It's entertainment, and I'm a supporter. You know what I'm saying? I'm more the person that watches YouTubes and lives versus television. So I don't mind watching stuff, especially when, like I said, it's motherfucking entertainment and y'all revolve around something that interests me, which is supposedly Streetball. So I'm gonna watch it. So I'll follow him. And then Greg. Everything was cool with Greg, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would do my my usual, say my piece. And Greg ain't pay no mind to it until one day he came out and he made this comment about how, and you can see it in my other video when I talked about fake celebrities, you know what I'm saying? But he was talking about how he was upset that he put together some event and the people that he invited that said that would come didn't show up. And so he was all pissy and he was complaining about it. And then he started whining and he was like, I don't do this for me, I do this for y'all. And so I had told him, I'm like, dude, you don't do this for us. Like I feel your pain because I've put together some events, that people say, oh, I'm gonna show up, and the niggas never show up. So I know that don't hurt, right? But that's pride when you sit here and want to be like, oh, why you doing me like this? You ain't doing me like this, you doing them like that. Because I don't do this for me, I do this for... Nigga, you could stop. You could keep going. It won't faze me none. It won't faze millions of other people. You could be a one-hit wonder and fall off the face of the earth. No one will care. No one. You might have onesie-twosies that be like, oh, where Greg at? But that's as far as it'll go. Because at the end of the day, people are forgettable. Humans in general, we're just forgettable. Once you die, niggas, you become a myth. After so many times, so many years adds up between, you and the next generations. They're forgettable. You know what I'm saying? And so I had checked them. I'm like, dude, you don't do this for us. Like, I didn't ask you to attempt to become a YouTube basketball player and try to get paid off it. Like, you decided to do that. You was chasing this jump for years. You ain't doing this for me. You doing it for you. Then he got pissy because I said that, and then he blocked me. Then I started the same thing like I did Chris. Looked at his, Instagrams from my other page, the antithetical antagonist page. And I was watching him from there. And then that's when I saw him post some other dumb junk. So he had posted, and this one was like pure just for issues and giggles, I had seen, when they went in Arizona, right? Literally the oldest people that were there were Chris, and at the time I assumed it was Greg. I thought Greg was like Chris's age, mid-30s, close to 40, because Greg looked older than a mother freaker. I don't know, he got that face and body, he looked old. He got a middle-aged, that nigga got a middle-aged dad bod. And I don't understand how you playing basketball and built like that. But anyways, it's because basketball players don't y'all don't work out like that. But anyways, just be out here shooting shots. But so I had told him, especially because this is around the same time that him and Drifty and Kenny was all talking about exposing Chris White for using the youngsters for that trip that they did in Arizona, where pretty much Cam paid for everything. Supposedly Kenny paid, his part, but nobody else was really trying to help him out. Now, it's expected of Drifty to do some coon junk like that, because Drifty is like, what, 19? You know what I'm saying? It's expected of K Showtime to do Cam like that, because most of these niggas, they're young, and they're trying to pocket Cam like some little puss, you know what I'm saying? Like he a little punk. But to have some grown amen like Chris and Greg do it, it's just, it's vomit emoji. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's throw up. That's disgusting. And y'all using this kid, and then it made me think like, well, it's true that Chris is mother freaking robbing his, supporters from their merchandise purchases, because I mean, look at him doing it to Cam, and Cam ain't do nothing but show kind to him. Cam didn't have to get that Airbnb, because he have a home to live in while he was in Arizona. He could have left them niggas rent out a little motel. But he was nice enough to, go above and beyond. And they just dogged him like that. So I thought it was wrong. So I come in and I'm like, Greg, y'all too damn old to be hanging out with them kids. Like, what are you, like 40? Then he tried to be funny back, talk about nah, but you look 40. And then after he said that, he had blocked me. Because several times before I had commented in his post about how he need to work on his cardio, lose that fat, him and Chris. I've been telling these niggas before Chris had lost the freaker, y'all need to work on y'all cardio. Y'all sit here talking good game. March 12th come, y'all niggas still get, swept, washed, mopped, however you want to say it, because y'all cardio suck. Niggas be motherfucking slow walking across the. We ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that. So I'm like, I've been saying it. So I knew when I made that comment about him being too old to be hanging out with Drifty J and all them that he was gonna block me because I was at him about having a dad bod and being out of shape and not owning a 45. And I said his shot is more like a 22 because he be missing. And I know how Chris is. Chris be editing so it could look like they be making everything, but then they be missing. Because when we see him playing other people pick up games, them shots do not be dropping like how they drop in them hooligan games. But anyway, so I always talk junk to these niggas, but they're the sensitive type. They don't want to hear the truth. So that what they do, we don't want you motherfucking poisoning our following by telling them how shady and jacked up we are. So we're gonna block you. And that's what the freak Greg did. But then I got this motherfucking Hooligans Juices Guzzler logo talking smiggity smack. And this is what I want to show y'all. Right now, I'm going to show y'all these comments and everything. And I'm going to piece everything together so y'all can see, like, I'm not lying. Motherfucking Greg, he pissed me off because this nigga started panhandling virtually, like literally was on Instagram Live begging for people to help pay $200 of $500 that was needed for some tryouts for some big 3 contest or tournament that's made its way in Texas. And it was just, it's annoying. But let me show you. Give me a second. So this is the one with logo. I wanted y'all to see the comments made by Logo. Logo talks so much smiggity smack through this Instagram Live, and it's because he wants it, I'm blocked by Greg, but Greg could still see Logo's comments and all that other stuff. So this nigga talking junk to me is weird, especially because the nigga respects his elders in his comments. One time he came up and called me the B word, and I got something for that nigga. Y'all see in the comment how I responded to it, because at the end of the day, yeah, I'm saved. However, God is still working on me. I'm not no perfect Christian. I want to be perfect, but I'm not. And at the end of the day, you come for me, you best to hope and pray that I was in my Bible earlier on and prayed up, because I could stoop to stupid, but I try not to. But I want to show y'all these comments because this nigga is so weak. So weak. So Kenny's thing says Chris White or Frigga. I said Chris White because I don't like Frigga, even more than I don't like Chris White. I think Frigga is fake. Like his I bring positive chill vibes. I think that whole thing is fake. So I said Chris White, but I want y'all to see these comments. Here he goes, motherfreaking responding to me. Now, I was in this live. Several people were calling Logo out for being a meat rider, all types of stuff. But this nigga, out of all those comments, singled out the one female that was talking junk.
I just can't wait to watch it, bro. I don't know. I'm gonna go 2-1.
He said, "Stop being a goofy. You talk ish about, Chris and his videos, but then want Chris to win."